episode number.
Fuck, I've lost count. We've done so many. It's episode 16.
16. That's 16 in Espanol. So, we didn't have a very busy weekend as far as MMA fights are concerned.
No, we did not. Although the extracurricular activities.
Whoa.
Okay, let me rephrase that. The interviewing extracurricular activities.
Super heavy.
Dude.
Super heavy.
Fucking nuts!
Okay, so what he is alluding to is we've been doing a number of interviews with a bunch of fighters from LFA 72, which takes place this coming Friday, July 26th, over at the America Theater in Phoenix, Arizona, and they've given us access to their weigh-ins, they've given us access to their fighters, and they're going to let us come and cover the event. So we are two stoked motherfuckers.
Dude, like, I really hate that the way that
motherfuckers. Because I just pointed to myself. Like, it's not all about you, Steve.
Well, like, I get excited, but I don't really truly get excited until like the night before, and then I can't fucking sleep, I can't eat, I fucking drink a lot of water and shit just cause like,
a lot of water and shit?
No, I don't drink shit.
I see, on this show, I take everything like super literal. It's super literal.
Alright, so I drink water and stuff. So, I mean, I don't look like I'm excited, but I am super fucking excited. Like, I just probably won't show it till I'm like there and I'll be all like a kid in a candy store, just like, is this real? Did someone fucking pinch me?
Nah, it's super fucking cool. This will actually be the second card that we've attended, WFF, which is a local promotion out here. They're not like to the scale of LFA or anything like that, but they let us come to one of their cards too, which we're still working on video for that because we're learning on the fly here, like with pretty much everything. So, you know, we're trying.
Yeah, I mean, we're good at the whole audio thing, but we're getting the hang of the whole video thing.
Yeah.
So
this will be like the second time or the third? No, this will be the third episode with video.
Yeah, third episode with video.
Pick number 3, my boy.
Pick number 3. I'm on pick number 3. Just
so. Why don't you tell the people where we are?
We are in Sierra Vista.
That's right. If you can't tell the difference between the studio in Tucson and the beautiful living room of the Davis's domain, then you might want to get your eyes checked. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, there's a huge difference.
Just a huge difference. The camera's like way over there, and we're way over here. But we're making it work.
Oh yeah.
I think
we sound like we're right.
Right? Well, I don't know how the audio is going to sound on the camera because it's so fucking far away. But I imagine, like, it's got to be, like, listenable.
I'm sure it is.
If you can't hear me, raise your hand. I wonder how many people like. Got him. All right. So this week. Again, like we were saying, it was pretty short. We had a Dana White's Contender Series on Tuesday, which I think is like 10 weeks. I think that's how long it is. And the only week that they took off, I believe, was like 4th of July.
Yep.
They have their International Fight Week. I think the 4th of July fell on like a Thursday.
Yeah.
It was on a Thursday. And so they took that week off. And now I think this is like the second week since they did that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know what fucking day it is, man.
Yeah, I think they're doing, I think it's like constantly, like every week now for like the next 6 weeks or something like that, if my notes are correct.
You see, what you guys may not understand is that this guy He don't give a fuck what day the fights fall on. He wants to see them. I'm a true fight fan. I like watching fights. I don't care when. I don't care. You know what I mean? So on Tuesdays, I'll take it. Now PFL, they also do fights during the week, but they come on Thursdays. So it could be like Tuesday, Thursday, Friday with LFA.
Yep.
Sometimes Bellator falls on a Friday too. And then you get your UFC on Saturdays. Occasionally, like a Sunday. It's happened.
Yeah, that was. I think that.
It hasn't been recent.
Yeah, it hasn't been recent, but I think it happened at like maybe some point, maybe like last year, maybe the year before that, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't remember.
It's been a lot of maybes.
It's been a while.
So, anyways, country boy. Well, he's country now, anyways.
A little bit.
Just a little bit.
Well, I mean, I am from the good old state of Texas.
Where was the UFC this weekend?
The good old state of Texas in San Antonio.
San Antonio. And why don't you let the listeners know, and the viewers, apparently, where in Texas? Where in Texas?
Where in Texas am I from?
Yeah, that's the question.
Okay.
That's the question.
I'm actually from a little town called Anjos, Texas. It's a little oil town where where if you ever are driving through the state of Texas and you see the oil pumps that go up and down, Andrews is where a lot of that the equipment and stuff for those come from. My grandfather worked for a company called Cobra Packers for like 50 fucking years, and that's all he did. He went out to the pumps and checked to make sure they were doing what they were supposed to and all that good stuff.
Well, that's what's up. Oil be right there. Oh, you see what I did there? Alright, I don't know who Andrew is, but he's got a town named after him in Texas. But we had Dana White's Contender Series. Which one was this one? Like 21? 20?
Number 20.
Okay, and we also had UFC on ESPN4, Dos Santos versus Edwards, or UFC San Antonio. Oh yeah, so much better. So much better. It's a lot simpler. I don't have to remember letters, except for like, you know, when they're in the word. Because how would you pronounce ESPN? Espen. It's Espen 4 on Espen. ESPN4 on ESPN. So this card was on big ESPN, and when I say big ESPN, I mean like the channel. It wasn't on their streaming service. It wasn't on Plus. There was no like early prelims. There was just a regular preliminary card, and then you had the main card, all on the big ESPN. So we'll get to that in a second. Let's go ahead and cover Dana White's Contender Series first, since, you know, it came that way in the week, right?
Well, Tuesday does come before Saturday.
Only every time. Unless it's after Tuesday. So if it's Wednesday, Saturday's going to come before Tuesday. Don't you fucking lie to me.
Well, shit. You got me.
I got you with all that logic.
Motherfucker.
Alright, so, pretty decent card here on the Contender Series. Now, I was, let's just say, incapacitated during the, I guess you would call it like the co-main and main event to these cards. I'm not really sure how they stack them, and I don't know how, but the Brendan Allen ended up on, like, the first fight of the night. Excuse me. Sorry about that. A great way to start a card, but Brendan Allen, he's a champ. Okay? He's young. He fought well. He won. He got a contract. Why was he first? Why?
I want to say it is because of his age. I believe if my notes were right, he is 23 years old.
I don't know. Can you see my hand wave? Yeah, no, you can. 23.
When Dana White was reading off whatever Dana White reads,
his notes,
whatever the hell they were, I don't know. He might call them different. I don't know. Scribble. I don't know. But he was kind of reluctant on wanting to take a younger fighter just because of the age. He wanted to have somebody that has a little bit more experience under their belt. But he said he liked the way that he fought and liked everything, and he was like, "Come on, kid, let's go."
Yeah, I think taking a chance on Brendan Allen's probably the right way to go here. Like I said, LFA champ. You know how we like our LFA. His only losses are to former LA champs and current UFC fighters. So, I mean, shit. He's kind of like his record's not bad. Champion of the feeder league, and then he comes in here and gets a finish, and it looked like he was. It seems like everybody's kind of given like a format on how you should fight the Contender Series. So what I mean by that is, if you go in and you ice the guy in like 6 seconds, right? Okay, sometimes they're just gonna be like, oh shit, yeah, let's get this guy a contract. Or they could be like, he knocked the dude out in 6 seconds. I don't know if I want to sign the guy because I don't know what else he could do. Yeah. You know what I mean? So Brendan Allen goes in there and he spends, a couple minutes in the cage in front of Dana White and puts on a show. He gets the choke here, but he was throwing hands, he was throwing kicks, he was showing that he's got a chin because he took a couple. Yeah, you know what I mean? This was a pretty good fight, and it ended in a finish, in the first round, which Dana White got to see what this kid can do. So I think he's making the right call here. If I were in his shoes, Brendan Allen, you were my guy. You know what I mean? So, and I will say that the only one fighter didn't get a contract this time, and it's because he missed weight. I think had he not missed weight, he probably would have gotten a contract. And then you're looking at the second week in a row where all 5 winners would have gotten contracts here. Because, like I said, the only guy that didn't get a contract was a guy who couldn't make weight. You know what I'm saying? So, well, they don't know what I'm saying, but they saw. Yeah. So if you can't see, you couldn't hear what just happened. Because your ears don't have eyes. Or do they? It'd be fucking weird as fuck. Anyway, so yeah, Brendan Allen, submission in the first round, looked pretty fucking badass. And he trains over at, with Rufus in Milwaukee. Milwaukee. Trains over there with like Paul Felder and the Pettis brothers. Pettis brothers are from there. I know that, I think Tyrone and Askren, I don't know if they do all of their camps there, because I know that T. Wood likes to go, travel a little bit and get looks. But yeah, so tons of talent in that fucking gym. So not surprised. Not surprised. What I am surprised at. Okay, so the dude is 23, right? The dude's 23, and let me fix this so I can pay attention here. Cool. The dude's only 23, and he had 3 shots at the LFA title, okay? And the dude's good, don't get me wrong. Like I said, his only losses are to fucking bona fide badasses. But he's only 23. Like, is this dude that good that he deserved all 3 of his title shots in the LFA and then the shot at the Contender Series? Like, is he just that good, or is his manager that good? Because we're getting to a point in this game where having a decent manager, like, that's where it's at.
Well, I mean, I think it's a combination of both. You have your manager that would pretty much be like, okay, you want to take such and such fight. Okay, well, I'll make it happen. You go train your ass off, and then let's, put on a good show, and then, we'll go from there. well, if you're putting on good shows every single fucking time, and you're not just what's that that analogy with the pan, flash in the pan. Like you're just not.
I've never heard that before.
You're not a flash in the pan. So basically, being like be like a one and done kind of thing. Like you're all this flash, you look good on paper, but then when you go to actually do it, you just fucking suck, and it's just.
Okay.
So.
Flash in the pan.
So yeah.
Take notes, ladies and gentlemen.
So I think it's got to be a combination of both, because I mean, yeah, you could have the best manager in the world to get you the best fights, but if you can't fucking own up to your name, like why the fuck? Like why did you have your manager go through all that? Because then you make him or her look bad, and then no one will trust them again. Like, oh, you want to bring this fighter? Like, the last one you brought us was fucking shitty. Like, why would we want to bring another fighter that you're managing or whatever?
I don't know. So I think maybe what we might have to do is like get a manager of some sort on here. I'm still working on a referee, guys. I'm still working on a referee, because that's something I feel that we need, because we get asked a lot of questions.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Maybe like that kind of thing would have like its own deal. You know what I mean? Like its own show, basically, where we wouldn't like do like a normal normal podcast like what we're doing right now, but more along the lines of like we just do a Q&A, and it would probably just end up being like audio. Unless we can work out like some sort of Skype deal, but then you got do they have Skype? Do they not have Skype? And that's a whole fucking thing. I mean, there's other fucking little things that we could use. So I mean, shit, everybody's got a Facebook, and Facebook's got that little video thing on it.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll do what we can. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and jump off Brendan Allen right here. I'm gonna move on to Kevin Seiler. Kevin Seiler defeats Lance Lawrence. That's a mouthful. Lance Lawrence. Wow. Unanimous decision. Lance was tough as fuck. But Seiler was just all over him, man.
Yeah. If my memory serves me right, because for some reason I decided just not to take notes. But if my memory does serve me right, Seiler, once he got Lawrence on the ground, it was just all Seiler. Lawrence really didn't have a...
Well, it was that way on the feet also.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think the only thing that probably stopped this kid from getting a fucking contract is him missing weight. And it wasn't like he missed weight by like, 0.5 pounds. He missed weight by like a lot. Let me see, I think they're like, what, 45ers? And he came in at like 49 bantamweights. So he came in at 139, I believe. Or it was like 6 or 7 pounds.
Yeah.
It was a lot. I don't know why I'm falling off my chair to tell you.
Because it was a lot.
It was a lot of pounds. Are we talking like euros or? I don't know. What's the exchange rate? Somebody let me know. Fucking drop that shit in the comments. I want to know. Like, seriously, while we're on the subject, exchange rates. Like, I want to know where my dollar's going to be, like, the most valuable. So when I go to travel, I can just fucking, everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Bottle service. Get some, like, legit bottle service. I don't know what bottle service means in Europe, by the way, so that could be...
it probably means the same thing like it would here.
I don't know. Oops. Have you seen one guy, one jar? I don't want to get into anything like that.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so. Anyways, exchange rates, whatever. Like I said, I think if this kid wouldn't have missed weight, he's probably looking at a contract, because it was a dominant performance.
Mm-hmm.
And he pretty much schooled the guy everywhere. The only thing that I think, saved Lance Lawrence here from being stopped, because, I mean, really, you probably could have stopped this fight at some point, was the kid's toughness.
Yeah, he's super tough.
You can't take a beating like that and walk away unscathed, which he didn't. You know what I mean? But the fact that he was able to hang in there all 3 rounds like that,
yeah,
Terminator is what.
Yeah, and to be under that constant pressure and still,
And he was cracking Siler.
Yeah.
But there just wasn't enough oomph, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There wasn't enough this going on. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, like I said, let's move on. You want to move on to fucking Dante? See, I thought it was Dante.
That's what I thought too.
Dante?
Until I saw the name, I was like, oh, Dante. Okay.
So it's Dante Mays, right? And it's probably with an accent, right? Because it's Dante. It's Dante Mays. You get that shit right.
It sounds cooler.
Right, Dante. Okay, so I believe this is like his 2nd or 3rd time on the Dana White's Contender Series. He knocks the dude out literally at the end of round 1. There was not much left in round 1. I mean, like, nothing.
Yeah.
And he gets it done. Dana White's, his hands forced. Says, Dante, get your ass over here. You're fighting for me, man. I don't know.
I like it. I mean,
the accent or Dante?
Both. I like the accent, but I also like the way that Dante put a hurting on this boy towards the end. You hear the little clacks, and 9 times out of 10, either one or both fighters will just they'll perk up and, all right, let's see if we can get something out of this. And
they don't.
He, this time, Dontel perked up a little bit and
the other guy perked down.
He got perked down, that's what happened. So, I mean, I kind of like it when fights are just that, I don't know if interesting would be the right word, but exciting. There we go. To sit there and see the back and forth, and then just at the end, just see that one fighter.
Pow!
Yeah, and not even a lucky punch. It was, all right, I'm gonna throw this, and hopefully it lands. Pa! And boom.
You know, it would be awesome if, like, in video, like when we're going pow, if we could like put a pow in there. I don't think our editing skills are that good.
We're not on that point yet, but
I'm sure we could be like pow. I wouldn't stop. There would be pals all over the bitch. Anyway, so yeah, 3rd time's a charm apparently. So he gets a contract. He gets into the UFC, and I don't know if like all of these guys, if they're gonna be like getting like official contracts, or if they're gonna be, on. I don't know what's going on with the Ultimate Fighter. I really don't. Because I don't know if they're doing away with it or if it's supposed to be coming back. I love the Ultimate Fighter.
I liked it too. I like seeing all the different personalities that
you like the drama.
A little bit. I guess gets my little drama fix on from going from WWE and then watching this. I'm actually getting more into the whole MMA thing now. I mean, I still like my WWE, but dude, this is real. This is where it's at.
This is real stuff, man. This is like real fights, real blood,
real life shit.
Ouch. Speaking of which, this fucking white belt newbie green ass motherfucker over here outpicked me on tonight's card. I went 5-8 and he went 6-7. So we were one fight off. So yep. That's the last time I go, hey man, what are you thinking? Oh, that guy? Okay, sure. That's the last time I do that shit because it's all his fault. I'm blaming him. You always blame the new guy.
Yeah, it's not my fault. I got weird beginner's luck.
You got lucky. No, actually, our picks were pretty fucking terrible this time.
Well, last week we did fucking.
We usually go like 9-3.
Yeah.
Which is a respectable record. Come on, 9-3. Jacob TikTok McClintock is 9-3. He's kind of a badass. So I think 9-3 is a good record. But, you know.
I guess not when you decide to leave it into the judges' hands, I guess.
Right? And there was a lot of that going on tonight. I know we're not there yet, but wow.
Yeah.
Judges are fucking taking fights away from people, gifting other people with fights. It was nuts. The judges were all over the place tonight. So, let's see where we at. We're 25 minutes in. So, the last two fights, you had a verbal submission. Ode Osborne defeated Armando Villarreal. Both these guys fought for the Access. They fought under the Access TV banner. Ode fought for RFA in his last fight, which was a loss, and Armando Villarreal fought in LFA, which is RFA and Legacy put together for Legacy Fighting Alliance, and he had a knockout his last time out. He knocked the dude out. You know, they lock up here. There's a verbal submission armbar. I don't know if the ref couldn't see or because I didn't hear anything. Yeah, so there could have been a grunt because any noise you make when there's a sub in, they cut it, man. Well,
shit, I would not be able to fight because any little thing, I'd get in there, roll around. Ow, that hurt. All right, you're done. Wait, I'm good. All I said was, ow, that was tough.
Okay, so like real quick on a quick tangent. So that whole like verbal submission thing, the one time where I was just like the first time it ever came up, that I was actually like, wait, what the fuck? Like for real? Was I think it was at. No. Yeah. The fuck is his name? I know. I'm trying to think of his name. Why don't you talk about that fight, the Ode Armando?
It was a really good fight. I mean, both guys, they came out, they were, doing the whole, feeler thing, trying to get their distance. And I think I might have looked away from the TV, and then when I looked back, Osborne had Armando and an armbar, and I was like, ooh, he's probably gonna, just kind of roll through and kind of, get through it, and nope, didn't happen. Couldn't get out. It's too cinched.
Okay, so I do have it was Marcos Gallo. This was a Bellator title fight. He had Joe Warren in a knee bar, right? So he's got him in a fucking knee bar, and those things that if you've never been put into a knee bar, don't. Just don't. 'Cause that shit fucking hurts. But Galvo has Warren's knee, right? He's fucking wrenching that shit. Joe Warren does not tap. He just goes, ah! Right? Yeah. Ref calls it, and he goes, what the fuck? I didn't tap. And he goes, you yelled. You yelled. That's a verbal submission.
You yelled in pain, pussy.
Right? Well, they tell you, like, don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And again, that just came up here recently. I think it was when they went to England. I'm forgetting the dude's name. It was like, shit. Well, anyways, it happened when it was on the Masvidal Till card.
Oh, okay. I would be able to, if I had my other notebook, I'd go to the...
Well, I mean, I can just fucking look this shit up, because...
Alright, you look that up and
we have smartphones.
I'll go over the Antonio Arroyo and Stephen Regman?
I think it's Regman. Stephen, just like me, like Stephen King, he looked like a fucking, welterweight.
Yeah.
And Arroyo, that motherfucker looked like a light heavyweight.
Yeah, these dudes were fucking huge. And I believe this was Antonio's, I think this was also Antonio's second or third time also competing on the Contender Series. I believe the last time that they had it, he came out, I believe he won then too, but he didn't get the contract. And so went out, did some stuff, worked on his game a little bit, comes back to the Contender Series, gets in there with Regman, and they are going at it, man. I would have actually liked to see it go into a third round. That's how exciting and how invested I was. I was like, I want to see this go into the third round. But Antonio was like, no, sorry, Jonathan. I got to get this dude in an arm triangle. I got to win this thing. I got, family to feed and shit like that. And so got him in an arm triangle, and it was all done.
And that was up against Cage, right? If my memory serves, I remember.
I believe so, yeah.
I was, like I said, I was incapacitated. We also do a radio show on Tuesday nights, which falls on Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series.
Yeah.
So we were having some technical difficulties. I had to fuck around with my software, getting it uninstalled and then reinstalled. And you guys really don't want to hear about that. But yeah, so I missed the last 2 fights. I had it on, but I wasn't really paying attention because, the radio show and whatnot. So, but I knew that Jonathan had it going. So it was Claudio Silva versus Danny Roberts. He had him in an armbar, and right as soon as Danny Roberts started to get out of the armbar, they stopped the fight because he said, well, I thought you made a noise.
Oh,
yeah.
I remember that now.
You know what I mean? So that was the same night that the 3-piece in a soda was born.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I was wearing that shirt right now just because. It's a fucking awesome shirt. And plus I paid a decent penny for it. So might as well wear it as often as possible. So that was your Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series numero 20. I'm working on my Spanish. I'm not really working on my Spanish, but I know a little bit. So what little bit I know, I try to use.
Well, hey, I mean, we kind of do live close to the border, so.
You live closer to the border than I do, bro.
This is true, and I still don't know.
And you're way whiter than me. I'm actually not as white as people would like to believe you. Yes, my name is Stephen C. Frontroth, but I got away from that. So you didn't hear it, right? But I'm mostly Venezuelan.
Well, I am as probably Irish as you can get. So.
You see, what's funny is I'm whiter than you physically, but on the inside, I'm fucking brown as fuck. I'm sure I'm delicious too. Anyways, we won't even go there. 808 that shit, will ya?
Hey, we got to
at least once, right? At least once per episode we gotta 808 it. So video probably has no idea what we're 808ing. Unless it did when I kicked the thing. That would have been funny.
Probably.
Right? Okay, so this is UFC on ESPN 4. Dos Anjos versus Edwards. Or UFC San Antonio. San Antonio. So I wonder if this was the record for the most decisions ever.
I don't know. I mean, at least they weren't super boring decision fights. But
That's what I think about that shit. Fuck. That's a lot of decisions. But you are right. And I think it was the matchmaking. I think the matchmaking is to blame here. All of these fights, they were close.
Super close.
Super fucking close. They were so close, the judges are like, fuck it, he's from Texas, give it to him. You know what I mean? It's come on.
You're from Texas, you get a win. You're from Texas, stop getting knocked out and you'll get a win.
He's alluding to Mr. Vic. We'll get to that when we get to the main card. But let's go ahead and start, as we usually do, from the bottom and work our way to the top. Because we started from the bottom, now we're here. Started from the bottom, and the whole team fucking here. Started from the bottom, now we're here. Okay, anyway. A little bit of Drake. A little bit of Drake for everybody.
So copyright, I'm just kidding.
Right? I know. Did we get in trouble for that? I don't give a fuck. I mean,
we'll find out.
We could probably get in trouble for, saying that we're drinking Kilt Lifter. We were drinking Kraken earlier, and you're always doing the body armor thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's either we'll get sued for copyright violation, or we'll pick up a couple sponsors. I'm ready to go. Sue us. I ain't got shit. Or give me a sponsor so I can have shit. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I'm always down for a fucking sponsor. But I don't know if they'll sponsor because we say fuck a lot.
Well, I think we can put like, you know, this thing on our fucking YouTube that says parental discretion advised. Maybe we should include that, even if they don't like have a button for it.
Yeah.
Maybe we should.
Rated YouTube MA. Or some shit.
Because we say that a lot. We do. We do. It's not like every other fucking word, but it's pretty close.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucking close.
Hey, they're adjectives. They're describing how we feel, okay? That's how I put it.
I feel very fucking awesome. So, Felipe Colares, he defeated Domingo Pilarte. How you like that? You like how I roll my R's?
Ooh.
Sexy.
I think you practiced those.
I actually didn't. My mom's ex-girlfriend's mom's ex-boyfriend, if you could follow that.
What?
Yeah, his name was Felipe.
Oh,
So,
okay.
I know a Felipe Colares, you know, I think that's colors. Domingo, I don't know what a Domingo is. It's a Sunday.
I mean, yeah, it's
Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah. See, you know Spanish. Si habla español.
See?
He said, chiquito pito.
No, no.
Okay. You see how defensive he got? This was a split decision here, and this is what I'm saying where the, oh see, I thought your mouse was my mouse. But mine is bigger.
I quit.
Anyway, this was a split decision. We had both picked Pilarte, and Felipe Colares, he ended up taking the split decision here.
Mm-hmm.
And even though we picked Pilarte, it sounds different when I say Pilarte, huh? Even though we picked Pilarte to win, like I agree that the right guy won the decision here.
Yeah, I mean the fight was just way too close, and it was just whatever judge was gonna give that other fighter that round that we were like, who the fuck do we give this round to?
Yeah, and basically a lot of these fights, that's what it came down to. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's what do you like as a judge? You know what I mean? Do you like forward pressure? Do you like damage? Do you like control? Do you like, you know, kickboxing? Do you like wrestling? Do you like takedowns? Do you like takedown defense? I don't know why the takedown defense doesn't really come into play when it comes to scoring fights, because if you try to take me down and I stuff your takedown, that should count as something. You tried to do something to me and I shut that shit down.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Okay? Right guy won here. Pretty fun fight. Nice little opener.
It was very entertaining.
Nice little opener. But now we just have to see, because these guys are so young in their career, like, you know, what's next? They're on the opener on a big ESPN, so they're on a pretty big platform.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But there wasn't too much in the way of call-outs tonight, even with the winners. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there was a couple, you know, but not too many.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of fighters are going with that, whatever the UFC got next with me, that's what I want. And it's like, bro, you gotta fucking call that shit. You got to make sure you get these opportunities.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Be like Brian Kelleher and call out that fucking Hands of Stone Lineker. Get knocked out by him, but get that opportunity. Because that's what he did. He said, hey, John Lineker, fuck you. I'll beat you up. It didn't go his way.
Yeah.
But that's a ballsy call out anyways. John Lineker, fuck. Yeah, he got bounced from the UFC just here recently, but that's a tough fight. That's a tough fight. And he called for it. He got it. Didn't go his way. But you're not going to get those opportunities. Closed mouths don't get fed, dude.
Exactly.
They don't get fed.
And I mean, if you don't.
That's why we working on shit behind the scenes. We doing something. We gonna fucking open up. No, I'm not gonna say that. No, I'm not gonna go down that road. But we're working hard behind the scenes. We're gonna make some shit happen. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Definitely trying.
You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get some shit going. Right after that, we had Mario Batista. Now our pick again was Jin So San, right? But Mario Batista.
Jin
San.
Su Sun.
Whatever. The son, right?
Man.
Game opponent, right? But Mario Bautista, I think he had his number. Anywhere this fight went, shut him down.
Yeah, and you know what? He trains out here at Phoenix. So, I have learned my lesson. Well, now you've learned your lesson. Don't beat your chest so hard. And I've learned my lesson. Don't pick against a fighter that trains out of Phoenix. If they train in Phoenix, fucking pick them.
Jerry, pick them. Mario Bautista and Jin So Sun.
Mm-hmm.
What did they get tonight?
They got the performance of the night.
Fight of the night. That was their performance bonus.
That's what it was. Yeah,
We'll get to the other bonuses as we get to them.
Yeah, they got fight of the night, and I do not disagree. That
I don't
was
disagree
a
either.
fantastic.
I think it was probably a close contest between that fight. Heavyweights, even though they kind of, slow down a little bit and kind of, it turns into like, I'm going to kind of lay on you for 30 seconds and then you're going to lay on me for 30 seconds. It was still a great, exciting fight. Excuse me. And then you had the main event where we'll get to that, but that was also a great fight. You know what I mean? But I can't disagree here. This was my fight of the night. And to be honest with you, I tweeted that shit. I said, shit, this is early fight of the night contender. If you follow us on their social media, on this thing, with the bird and the tweets, you would know what I was talking about. Okay? I was pointing to a phone and I was talking about Twitter. Follow us on that shit. We're actually pretty easy to find. What's our fucking handle on Twitter?
HeadKick Audio.
That's right. See how fucking easy that was?
HeadKick Audio. All one word.
All one word. HeadKickAudio with an @ symbol in front of all of that. @HeadKick Audio on Twitter. Go give our bird a follow. What about Instagram? Just while we're here.
Our Instagram is HKA_AZ.
Okay. He just spelled it out for you, so I don't need to spell that one out. And then with YouTube, they just open it up and type in HeadKick Audio.
Yep, you can type in HeadKick, one word, or you can type head, then space, then kick, then audio. Whatever combination works, you'll find us.
Get HeadKick Audio. Go subscribe to that YouTube channel so you can check out videos like this one. Jonathan over here puts together some dope-ass slideshows for the interviews that we do where the fighters are not present, which so far has been all of them.
Yep.
If they're not included in an episode, which we really haven't done that in a while. But we've been kind of on this, we've been, working on LFA 72. So we've been kind of busy with that, and it's been, kind of a fun little project that we've been doing.
Yeah, it's been intense and it's been really fun.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fucking work though. So we both have jobs, so we work all day and then we come home and so I have a job, and I'm not saying that Jonathan doesn't have a job, but this is his last summer off. He's gonna have to work the whole year next year unless we get something going, you know what I'm saying? But so I'll just say we work and then we come home and then we work. If we're not working on the podcast, we're working on the radio show. You know what I mean? So we're putting together interviews, we're putting together slideshows, we're putting together videos, we're on Photoshop creating flyers for our shows, our interviews, everything we've got going on. We do all of this shit, and we do everything mostly ourselves, just me and you. There is one, Julianne Frontroth, which is mi esposa. That's mi wifey. She edits all of our videos because we fucking suck and can't do that shit.
Yeah.
And she does help create some of our artwork and whatnots. And while we're on the subject of people that fucking help out, LFA sends us interviews all the time. Our music with most of our episodes and a lot of our LFA interviews. Ryan Bettins, I believe, is the guy that hooks us up with all the interviews.
Mm-hmm.
The music is By the Gods. You can follow them like on Facebook. It's like Metal by the Gods, and that'll take you to their thing. And I believe at YouTube they're like same thing, By the Gods or something like that. You can. They're linked to our site, so you can actually go to our YouTube and subscribe from our site. Also, some of the music is done by a band called Cutthroat Gorgeous. In some of the early episodes, Cutthroat Gorgeous is a dual-bass metalcore band based out of Tucson, Arizona, currently on hiatus. Bastards.
It's not my fault, but it is my fault.
I was gonna say, wait a minute, man. It is his fault, but that's not mine. That's none of my business.
It's everyone's. Well, no, never mind.
Yeah, well,
we won't get into that.
Well, we shamelessly plug shit because we give 0 fucks. It's our show. We plug what we want. Fall of Atlas. Go ahead.
Fall of Atlas is a Sierra Vista death metal, death groovy band. We haven't played a show in a while, but we're trying to get some stuff in the works. We're trying to record. We're trying to get some new merch. Trying to get some new songs pumped out. So that way we have the songs that were already done, but I kind of bring in a little bit of a flair.
I meant like a fucking hashtag, an ad, like where can they follow you? I didn't need your biography.
Well, I'm going to give a biography, damn it.
Well, fine.
And so once we get all that shit done and squared away, you guys can find Fall of Atlas at Twitter, Facebook. It's just Fall of Atlas.
Now, how come when I do that, it turns into Atlas Fall?
Whoever set up the Facebook page when they first started it, probably. But I think, you know, they were just like us. They were just trying to, you know, they were starting, and they were just like, you know, there's also another band called Fall of Atlas, and that's also probably why it flopped.
Really?
Switched it. But they haven't been active in like years.
You can't see, but I'm scratching the shit out of my broken finger.
All I see is just this.
Yeah. Right? It probably looks really weird for you guys too. But it's my left hand. You know that shit's gonna go helicopter. So it just wouldn't work, and it never does. So I just don't.
But I mean, we have a YouTube channel. I mean, we only have like a couple of videos up from one of our live shows. A lot more of our videos are on our Facebook at Fall of Atlas. You know, we just video stuff from our phone while we're at practice and whatever, and just post it up there.
Nice. Back to some fights. You ready to get back to some fights now that they know like every little detail about Fall of Atlas or Atlas Fall?
Let's do it.
Right. Well, how much does the band like weigh, like the whole band together? How much do you guys see? They don't know everything.
They do not see.
We're not going to do the math. Ray Borg defeats Gabriel Silva via unanimous decision, and this got us on the board. Ray Borg was our pick.
Yes, he broke the losing streak for us.
You know what I mean? As we finally get on the board, and it's Ray Borg, which is really close to board. So, you know, I'm going to go ahead and roll with that. And you know, he's pretty emotional after the fight. He's been going through a lot of shit with his personal life. I'm not even going to get into it because we could literally spend a whole show on that. 808. We can spend a whole show on that. But yeah, he got us on the board, and he was a lot smaller, and he was a big reach disadvantage, and was still able to fucking get it done. So I was super stoked. I was glad to see him get back on the winning track. And hopefully he can figure things out, you know, going forward. I think he's probably staying at bantamweight for now. you know, because nobody's really sure what's going on with the flyweight division. Although they say they're keeping it around, I'm not 100% convinced. It all depends on Triple C, the king of cringe, Henry Cejudo, the messenger, whatever the fuck they call him these days. I think it's all up to that guy.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, and he's over here trying to pick a fight with butt chin Uriah Faber. And that's not me talking shit. He's got a butt chin. I like Faber. Funny story. I used to not like Faber because my wife liked Faber. And I'm like, fuck that motherfucker. You know what I mean? You should be looking at me, not him. But then when he retired, I was just like, God damn, I really miss watching Uriah Faber fight. Like, what the fuck? Motherfucker came back though. He iced the fool.
Yeah.
He iced the fool. You know what I mean? Anyway, that was last week, right? Jennifer Maia, she runs it back with Roxanne Modafferi and takes a unanimous decision. 30-27s across the board here. The happy word, couldn't get it done, man. It's like she did not have an answer.
Do you
for
think
like any of it?
Do you think it could have been like a distance thing? Like maybe she couldn't figure out how to close the distance like she was wanting to?
Well, in the first round she was closing the distance, but it should also be noted that Jennifer Maia missed weight by 4 pounds. She came in, this fight was set for a flyweight match, so it was supposed to be 125, 126 at the most, and Maia came in at 129.
Oh, damn.
You know what I mean? So Roxanne was probably at a pretty big weight disadvantage, because you got to imagine she tried cutting, right? And then knew she wasn't going to make the cut, so she just probably stopped, and then she probably rehydrated. You know, she didn't have to go through as brutal a weight cut as Roxanne. So you got to admit, like, that's just an advantage. You know, 9 times out of 10, the fighter that misses weight wins. It's very rare that you see a fighter miss weight and lose. You know, they have that advantage. They have that weight advantage. So, let's see, we're already at 52. So we're going to have to, these are mostly decisions anyway, so we'll just go ahead. Klitzen Abreu, which was your pick, defeated my pick, Sam Alvey, via unanimous decision, a couple 30-27s and a 29-28. Sam Alvey, he did not look too happy about that.
No, he did not. I had Abreu. I had him winning all 3 rounds anyway.
Oh, so you had it a 30-27?
Yeah.
Again, it was a close fight. I thought Alvey probably wasn't, he just wasn't coming forward enough, and that's probably what cost him the fight.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Raquel Pennington defeated, so your pick defeated my pick. Raquel defeated Irene Aldana via split decision. Do you agree with that one?
Kind of. I mean, it was a really back and forth kind of thing. I couldn't even really, you know, pick a winner myself because it was just so close, and it was another one of those, you know, what were you as a judge looking for? I mean, they were both, you know, countering each other. Raquel did happen to get a takedown. So maybe that's kind of what kind of.
Irene also had the fucking calf slicer on there. She was, you know, working on a leg submission and then caught onto that calf slicer. It would have been actually kind of cool to see a calf slicer. I haven't really seen one since. Okay. So I believe it was Wisely versus Oliveira. Because it wasn't Spicely, because Spicely's like a fucking middleweight. He's the one that just fought Darren Wynn in a fight of the night. I think it was Eric Wisely. He got calf sliced by Charles Oliveira, New Bronx. I think. I'll have to make sure. I already sound like a dumbass if I'm wrong, so maybe I won't even check. Maybe I'll just fucking...
Well, maybe we can check it out afterwards and we'll confirm our whatever the fuck we're doing.
Maybe
and
this
put it
time
on Twitter.
Yeah, I'll put it on Twitter like on Tuesday, so I'll forget. So it'll probably be like Wednesday or Thursday. But I'll be like, yeah, I was fucking right. You know what I mean? Alex Caceres defeats Steven Peterson via unanimous decision. 130-27 and a couple 29-28s. Another close fight. It depends on what you like.
Yeah, and I don't know why, but I wanted to touch on the referee conditioning because these guys were moving around so much that ref had to make sure his ass was out of the way the entire time.
See, so you want to get in shape. I wonder if there's like a fucking a ref gym, right? Where you're
that'd be pretty dope.
You know what I mean? Just getting in shape to be a ref. You got to learn how to run backwards really fucking fast.
Yeah.
You have to learn how to jump in between two giant people that are going to kill each other.
Yeah.
You got to learn to fucking, stop a women's fight appropriately. I mean, these are all things. And then, stopping a fight too late, stopping a fight too early. I mean, we need to talk to a ref. We need to have a ref on the show.
I think it's time to get a ref on here.
I've been fucking trying. Herzog. I want Herzog on the show. I want that motherfucker on the show. So we need to figure a way to make this happen. Andrei Arlovski rematches Ben Rothwell in an Affliction rematch. This was way back in the day. And Arlovski knocked out Ben Rothwell the first time. This time he takes a unanimous decision. 30-27s across the board. But I don't think it was as big of a gap, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rothwell was also throwing heat. Rothwell was defending takedowns. I think, Arlovski did win every round, but it wasn't by a large margin.
Yeah.
The first round, yes, he came out really strong, but that almost fucking didn't pay dividends come round 3 because them boys was tired.
Yeah. Oh, dude, they were so tired. They were like, all right, you throw a punch, we'll see how it feels. Boom. Okay. Dude, that was a good shot. All right, my turn. Damn, that hurt. All right, my turn. Okay. And then that was the last 3 minutes of round 3.
So in the rematch, Andrei Arlovski, or Pitbull, as he likes to call himself, which I think he's the original Pitbull.
Mm-hmm.
He might be the fucking original Pitbull. It's either him or Thiago Alves.
I'm gonna go with
Arlovski probably. It's probably
yeah.
Arlovski. So he stays perfect against Ben Rothwell. He goes 2-0. Stops, I believe, a losing streak, a long one, and says he's got 5 years left in the sport, and he's on a championship run. Andrei Arlovski, I don't know what the fuck keeps you going, bro, but hey.
Yeah, well, he with this win, he
made some history tonight.
Yeah, he passed Frank Mir in the most wins in the heavyweight division.
I think he also went in to be the first heavyweight, them the big boys, the heavyweight, to go past 30 fights in the UFC.
Yeah.
And he also had a stint outside the promotion. So that just goes to show you how long this motherfucker's been fighting. Okay? And he's still winning at the highest level. Alexander Hernandez defeated Francisco Trinaldo in what was a baffling unanimous decision. Absolutely baffling. I don't know if the term robbery is appropriate here, but from a Twitter standpoint, that's what I hear, is that it was a robbery. And I'm not sure it was that black and white, but I don't agree with Alexander Hernandez getting the victory here.
No, I honestly don't think he did.
I scored it for Trinaldo, and let the record show. Who was our pick? Our pick was Alexander the Great Hernandez. Okay? We do not shy away. When we are wrong, we are wrong. When we are right, we throw it in your fucking face. Fight me. I know you were waiting for that.
I was waiting for it.
Okay, well it happens all the fucking time. So, I didn't have Alexander winning this fight. You know, there was a couple 30-27s. The judges are like, oh, he's from Texas? So how was your day? How was your day? Yes. Is that popcorn? You smell nice. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, I know I'm supposed to be the judge. He's going, don't worry, he's from Texas.
Don't worry, he's from here. We got this.
Right, yeah. Can I get you a beer? Can you get me a beer? Let's go get a beer. Fuck it, here. That's your scorecard. 30-27 here. Let's go get a beer. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That was actually a pretty good monologue there.
Yeah, you see what I did there? Everybody's like, why do you sound so far away? I turned around. Why does those look like, never mind. Dan Hooker takes out the hometown boy in the first round. Your first finish of the fucking evening.
Yeah, that was fucking ridiculous. We had to wait this long.
The first one. There was 9 decisions before that. Count them. Count them.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The 10th fight. We had to wait 10 fucking fights to get a goddamn finish.
Now,
boy, was it beautiful.
It was beautiful, but a lot of these fights didn't suck, so it wasn't.
No, they didn't. Yeah.
And ESPN was keeping a fast pace. I don't think that they probably anticipated all these fights to go to decision, so they're like, fuck, we gotta keep rolling. And they did. It was nice. The card ended a little bit after 9 o'clock, which is to be expected when you have 2 fucking studs like Leon Edwards and RDA in your main event. You know, that fight's probably on paper going the distance. I don't think anybody was predicting a finish there. So, but we had a finish here. Dan the Hangman Hooker take out. What the fuck? He dunked him out. He just dunked him out right now. What's Vic's? He's the Texecutioner?
Well, he was the Night-Shiner tonight.
Night-Shiner?
Yeah.
What the?
Yeah, his name is the Texecutioner.
Yeah, so this boy's like 6'3" and 155 pounds for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe 5. I'm not sure. That's all. You just got to be able to step on a scale and take some pictures at 155 pounds. He is the perfect example of 65. You know he can make 55. So you know if he can make 55, he can make 65, right? Personally, I'd probably rather see him at 70 or 75 if they created the 65. They should just make all that shit happen. You know, keep flyweight around, build the 65 division, so you have 25, 35, 45, 55, 65, 75, 85, do the 95, 205, 225, heavyweight, and then fuck the bullshit. Do a super heavyweight.
Dude, that'd be fucking crazy.
But put a cap on that bitch, right? 267 to 280. Don't let dudes come in there 300 plus. I've seen a fight. As a matter of fact,
let's do this.
My first amateur fight, there was a super heavyweight fight on the card. What? There was a super heavyweight fight on the card. The little guy, okay, he's about your size. Like, pretty much all around, only he weighed a little bit less than you. I think he was like 280.
Damn.
So he was 280. The guy he fought was 300 pounds, and he was fucking huge. The little dude knocked the big guy out.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I
paid to see something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fucking awesome. I was, you know, watching from a monitor somewhere. From the loser circle, I promise you. Where the fuck were we? Oh, so yeah, Dan Hooker, the Hangman. He hung James Vick.
Yeah.
In his own backyard.
I think Dan Hooker is ready for.
It sounded like you said dead Hooker.
the dead
Hooker
is
is
ready
thinking
for
about the dead hookers.
Some big things.
What's in your trunk, Jonathan?
Dead hookers.
Yeah, it's not junk. It's just dead hookers.
Oh, it's okay. But no, I seriously think that I think he's ready to step it up a notch.
Well, he defeats his first ranked opponent at 155 pounds. I believe James Vick came in at number 10.
Number 15.
Oh.
So 10,
if you just hold up a 10 and I hold 5. 15. Number 15, right? Okay, so I think he was 10 when he lost to Paul Felder. Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, anyways, Dan Hooker taking out a top 15 guy in the first round by knockout, and it was fucking scary. That was fucking scary. James Vick just looking up at the fucking lights, you know?
Like, those are party lights there, and they're out.
Man, talk about fucking devastating. So Dan Hooker improves to, I believe it's 3 or 4-1 in the UFC's lightweight division, because I think he was on a 3-fight roll, ran into Edson Barboza, which was like one of the coolest fucking fights you can ever see if you're into toughness. If you're into toughness, Dan Hooker is your guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's a tough hooker, right?
Hell yeah.
I mean, I'm not lying. He's a tough hooker. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Just, I wouldn't advise trying to sleep with the dude. Might beat your ass. You know what I mean? Now he's gonna come find me. You know what I mean? This guy's been known to, and he's actually a really big fucking sweetheart. I like the guy. A fan was just like, hey man, I was fucking like too nervous to fucking like ask you if you'd take a picture with me. And he's like, don't worry about it, man. After this, we'll catch up. And he's like, fuck yeah. You know what I mean? So Dan Hooker, good dude, keep that shit up.
Hell yeah.
But a dangerous dude. Knocks out James Vick in 2:33 of round numero uno.
Mm-hmm.
In the evening's featured bout, you had Greg the Prince of War Hardy defeat the Kraken.
It was a sad day for HeadKick.
Okay, so Juan Adams, or Juan the Kraken Adams, was a guest on our show. He's featured on the episode with Eric, your boy Anders,
Mm-hmm.
who a couple weeks ago picked up a win on his own. But they were on the same episode, and both dudes fucking awesome, awesome guys. I like Juan Adams a lot. He's a fucking awesome follow on Twitter, Instagram. If you're into funny shit, he's your guy. If you're into fucking fast food and cupcakes, he's your guy.
Especially Little Debbie's.
Ooh, he should pick up a fucking sponsorship for real.
Make it happen, Little Debbie.
But the night was not his, man. 45 seconds. He had a single leg, he took him down, and he stopped moving. And that was pretty much it.
Yeah, and like I don't know why. Like I've never seen anybody just grab a leg and then just sit there. Like, was he out for a second and everyone just thought?
Okay, now
Like, I don't know.
Juan Adams, Juan Adams, the Kraken, he was our pick. Okay, we both went with Juan Adams on this one. I figured Greg Hardy had never fucking fought a real fighter, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Or at least anybody, you know, worth a fuck. No disrespect to any of his previous opponents. Greg Hardy is explosive and he does possess a lot of power.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to take anything away from his skill set, but I thought Juan Adams was the better fighter all around.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They're in the heavyweight division. Anybody can get caught. This is MMA. The gloves are small. The fists are hard. Ouch. And yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Juan Adams should have shown a little bit more to the referee. He showed the referee literally nothing. So at the very least, he's going to realize you have to keep moving. But this puts Juan Adams at 0-2 in his last 2.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's in the heavyweight division, so they get a little bit of leeway. You know what I mean? And he's not a boring fighter when he's on. When he's off, I mean, he's kind of off.
Yeah.
And I think this fight could have turned into a fucking barn burner had he not fucking just sat there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So he left the arena pretty pissed off. So I hope he's okay. I hope he can collect himself and work his way back to.
Mm-hmm.
You know he wants that fight back.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? He wants to. That Hardy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, 45 seconds. Ouch. It doesn't compare to the total amount of time it took Walt Harris to decimate Alexei Olenek.
That was so
Okay, so you hold up 2. Hold up 2 for the camera. Hold up 2. Our hands That's how many seconds it took. 12 seconds is all it took for Walt Harris to knock out Alexei Oleinik. And not without, like, some bad news for the boa constrictor. The dude's probably got a broken foot.
Broken foot, broken knee, torn
His
something.
shit's all fucked.
Yeah, I actually think I don't think he really got knocked out. I mean, that knee to the
Yeah, we were talking about that knee to the fucking chest.
The chest area. I think that rocked him, and then when he got hit, I don't think he went out, but I mean he was already stunned enough, and he was already going down, and I think he just fell wrong, and I think I mean you could look at the video and you could see his foot and leg just
kind of go the wrong way.
Yeah, and so I think once he felt that, he was like, I'm done.
I've been there.
And so I think that's just because you could see him, like, he was covering up, but he was more along the lines of, like, stop, I can't do anything, my shit's broke, you know?
Yeah. So,
but still.
Now, I believe that may also have been a heavyweight record.
I'm not sure if it was a heavyweight record, but 12 seconds is the third fastest knockout in UFC.
So we have the first fastest knockout in UFC history. What was that, last week? No, that was the week before.
That was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, where Masvidal took all of 5 seconds to knock out Ben Askren with the flying knee.
Mm-hmm.
And now Walt Harris says, I only need 12 seconds to knock out the boa constrictor, Alexei Oleinik. Walt Harris, your next fight is going to be against a tough dude. Get your ass to the gym and just stay in shape, man, because big things are coming your way. In the night's main event, you had former UFC lightweight champion Rafael dos Anjos, or RDA, take on streaking England, Jamaican, whatever you want to call the guy, Leon Edwards. This dude was on a 7-fight win streak coming into this fight.
Mm-hmm.
And the streak stays intact. He had a beautiful fucking game plan, and he executed it to a T. Mm-hmm. And decision, recently, one of the hardest guys to decision. Normally, you have to put such a pace on Rafael dos Anjos, or you have to be physically gifted beyond what he's capable of getting past.
Mm-hmm.
I.e., Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman is a big guy who's a good wrestler and has got okay hands. I'm not ready to say that Kamaru Usman's hands are great.
Mm.
I'm sorry, Usman, if you're listening, you're probably fucking not, but your hands ain't that great. You know what I mean? If his hands caught up to his wrestling or his conditioning, the dude would be fucking unstoppable. But there's a lot of fucking holes in his fucking game that his conditioning and his wrestling kind of, you know, helped cover up. But we're not talking about Usman here. We're talking about Leon Edwards. And, dude, in my opinion, the 4th round was the closest round. Rafael dos Anjos knew he needed a finish. He needed to put a stamp on it. He needed to put this guy out, make him tap, or put him to sleep. Or he was losing this fight. And he lost his fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It goes to decision. You had a couple 50-45s, which means both judges that had that scorecard. Oh no, it was just one? Okay, so the one judge that had that scorecard, he had Leon Edwards winning every single round. The last 2 judges gave Rafael dos Anjos round number 5. You know what I mean? Because that was the closest fucking round. But in the beginning of this fight, I was saying that Leon Edwards was looking like a fighter who was unsure he could go 5 rounds.
Yeah, well, now he's proven that he can go 5 rounds, and he did not look gassed at all.
Nope.
With the type of pressure and the type of offense that he was trying to put together, didn't look gassed, and he was just he looked like he could go another 5 rounds.
He looked good, and it's hard to look good against RDA, man. It's really hard to look good against this guy, and you're talking about a former champion here, so this does a lot. Now, once Leon Edwards got done with RDA, he immediately called for a shot at Jorge Masvidal. Now, if you guys remember at the beginning of the episode, or, you know, however fucking long ago. I was talking about my 3-piece Minnesota shirt.
Mm.
Well, where did the 3-piece Minnesota go? Right onto Leon Edwards' fucking face, okay? That's where that came from. Masvidal and Leon Edwards had a fucking, you know, an interaction, we'll just call it.
Yeah, that's right.
At the UFC in England when Masvidal knocked out Till.
Mm-hmm.
Masvidal was in an interview with, I believe it was Laura Sanko, and Leon Edwards was chirping in the background. Masvidal came up, gave him the 3-piece Minnesota, and everything kind of, you know, it got settled after, it settled down after that. It has not been settled. And Leon Edwards is looking to settle that. Now, how he would fare in a fight against Masvidal, I have no idea. Would I watch it?
Fuck yeah.
Oh yeah. I'd watch the shit out of that. You know, and I'd probably be wearing my 3-piece Minnesota. Not because I hate Leon Edwards, but because it's relevant. It's a fucking cool ass shirt.
Yeah,
it
is a pretty cool shirt. I like it.
You know what I mean? So, but yeah, that's what he's calling for. It kind of seems like he's more interested in that than the title fight right now, which kind of makes a little sense. You just took out a former champion. Literally, the last 2 guys to defeat Dos Anjos either went on to get the interim title because he fought Colby Covington for the title. Colby won. He got the interim title there. And then Kamaru Usman got the title shot over Colby Covington by defeating RDA. He went on to go beat Tyron Woodley for the undisputed title because they stripped Colby. The welterweight division is a fucking tornado. It is fucking ever turning. There's so many fucking moving parts, but it is probably one of the deepest divisions in the UFC. I think you're probably looking at 45, 55, and 70. Those are probably your deepest divisions in the UFC. There's a lot of killers at 70. There's a lot of guys on huge win streaks. You know what I mean? Dos Santos, I think Aleski, or I always forget how to say his fucking first name. But Dos Santos in the welterweight division, not junior, but he's on like a 7-fight run. You know what I mean? Edwards was on a 7-fight run. Colby, I believe, has won his last 6 or 7 fights. You know what I mean? So these guys are streaking. Where is their title shot?
Yeah, and with this win, it puts Edwards at a 8-win streak.
Yeah, 8-win streak.
And he's got the longest active win streak in the welterweight division.
Sorry, I was doing a little...
It's okay.
I'm trying to, you know... If I was wearing a kilt, I'd lift it. So, that's UFC on ESPN for Dos Anjos versus Edwards, or UFC San Antonio. Let's kind of give a little 2-minute preview of what we got coming up. Friday, next week, well actually Thursday and Friday, we're going to be in Phoenix. We're going to be, you know, kicking it at the weigh-ins for LFA 72. We're going to try to get some interviews done. You know, maybe get some photos and stuff with the fighters that are there. And it'll probably be, you know, some fighters that we've already talked to. You know, because all the interviews that we did, they were over the phone. So it'd be kind of cool to get some of these fighters in person. I've actually seen a few of them compete. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then on Friday, we get to see the whole card. So we get to bring you live coverage from LFA. So that one will be pretty cool. And then what do we have going on next week as far as fights? We have UFC 240, Champ first, right? Champ first. Okay, Holloway versus Edgar in your main event for the 145-pound strap. And then you've got in the co-main event, Chris Cyborg versus, I forget her name. Her name is Spencer. Okay, so Felicia Spencer. She's the girl that just recently tapped out Megan Anderson. She had came from Invicta. She was their last featherweight champion, which Invicta, on August 9th, I believe it is, they've got a title fight to fill that featherweight vacancy. Pam Sorensen versus... Motherfucker. How do I remember Pam and not the other girl? You got this.
Maybe you've seen her.
No, you got this. Look it up for us. Go to schedule. I'm gonna fucking feel like an asshole when you tell me who the fighter is. Oh man. Brain fart.
Let's see here.
And then I believe LFA 73 in Dallas, Texas. So Texas actually getting a lot of love from the MMA community.
Is it 36 or 37? Oh,
Caitlin Young. Okay, yeah. She recently fought at 35, Invicta 35, and she looked awesome. Okay, and this was her coming off a layoff from MMA. I think she was still doing like kickboxing and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And dude, she looked fucking awesome. I'm really not surprised that she's getting a shot here because of how good she looked. But yeah, so got a lot of shit coming up. We'll probably be doing a really quick episode next week because of all the shit that we got going on. But we'll be back in the Tucson studio. We are here from Sierra Vista, Arizona this week. I think that's all we got, Jonathan. So you know what to do.